Biology 9700, Paper 4, Variant 1, May June 2024, question number 7 and 8. And question number 7 is, it has been hypothesized that the mutation rate of an animal species may affect how fast animals of that species age and how long they live lifespan. Table 7.1 compares the mutation rate and lifespan of 5 species of mammals, and you can see the table 7.1 in which the 5 different species has been shown with their mutation rate per million years and mean lifespan. So first of all, the cattle 0.082 and its lifespan was 20 years, and ferret it is 0.20 and lifespan is very low, which is 8. Horse 0.05 lifespan 30 years, human 0.02 lifespan 75 years, and house mouse 0.28 lifespan only 3.6. So in this way, the different lifespans and the mutation rate has been given in this table. So next question is, describe the relationship shown in table 1, 7.1. In table 7.1, you can see in these 5 different cases, you can see the cattle highest lifespan is by the human beings, that is 75 years, and the mutation rate is 0.02, which is the lowest, you can say, mutation rate. And then we come to the ferret, which has 0.20 and lifespan is 8 years, and house mouse 0.28 and the lowest lifespan. So in this way, I could like to say that as the mutation rate is increasing, the lifespan is decreasing. And lowest mutation rate is in human beings and the lifespan is highest. So in this way, we can write the answer that as the mutation rate is increasing, lifespan is decreasing. So this is the normal relationship between lifespan and the mutation rate. Now the next question is, use table 7.1 to explain how these species may differ in the rate at which they can adapt or if environmental selection pressure changes. Okay, and species may differ in rate at which they adapt. If environmental selection pressure change. So you know that the mutation, students, the mutation, which is a sudden change. The sudden change can be in the structure or in the chromosome number. So sometimes these mutations may be advantageous, or sometimes they are favorable only or in some species, but sometimes they are harmful. So in this way, the species, they can evolve. Sometimes the species, and some of the species, they can evolve very quickly, or while other species may take thousands or even millions of years to evolve significant changes. So in this way, if environmental selection pressure is changed, the peoples respond differently. So we will write in this way, the more higher mutation rate will gives more genetic diversity. So the genetic variations are originated, which can be beneficial or harmful. It depends. And sometimes high mutation brings short lifespan or sometimes it takes time to originate. Those effects which takes time to. We are moving towards the next question. Question number B part. Compare the time scales needed for selective breeding and genetic engineering to increase the frequency of a rare allele in cattle. Give a reason of your answer. So we will compare the genetic engineering, selective breeding, and genetic engineering to increase the frequency of rare allele in cattle. Give a reason for your answer. So genetic engineering, it is a very fast process. Genetic engineering or genetic modification, it is very fast process which takes some time, whereas the selective breeding takes generations for this process. That first of all, in this way, they have to select the organisms which are required. So it takes time. It will take many generations, whereas the genetic engineering or genetic modifications can take a few hours, as it takes place in the bacteria. It takes place with the help of bacteria. So in this way, we can see that this is the much better process by which we can reproduce the offsprings in a very short time. So genetic engineering is a fast process, whereas selective breeding is slow and it takes many generations to obtain the offsprings of own choice. So in this way, these are can be differentiated with one another. Now the next question is, genetic engineering could be used to improve farmed animals such as dairy cattle. State two features of dairy cattle that could be improved by genetic engineering. So you can choose the organisms of your own choice so we can improve the meat quality. Or quantity of milk. So now we are moving towards the next question number 8, and question number 8 is there are several species of mammal in the family Ursidae. Climate change and loss of habitats due to human activity have reduced the size of some bear populations in recent years. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has a role in the conservation of species such as species of bear. So, outline the role of IUCN in the conservation of species, and we are going. First of all, I would like to discuss what is IUN. So we are moving towards this answer of this question, that IUN is the International Union for Conservation of Nature. So this IUCN is the global authority on the status of the natural world and the measures needed to safeguard it. So IUCN assesses the status of any of the world species of the animal and plant, and then they also have made one list of threatened species, which is called as the red list of threatened species. So it is available online, and the scientists monitor populations and evaluate the risk of species becoming extinct. They then apply certain criteria to the information that they have available before assigning each species to one of the categories. So in this way, the information in the red list is available to government planners, conservationists, and environmental uh, around the world. So in this way, the IUCN play a role in the conservation of species. So we are going to write about this in 3 points. All this information which I have told you. They have published a red list threatened species available online for the conservation animals. They help to educate and raise awareness in the people and they also promote to manage the suitable environment for them. And they also try to educate the people, and they produce awareness in them. Next question. Grizzly bears, Ursus arctos horribilis, and polar bears, Ursus maritimus, are found in North America. Shows a grizzly bear and polar bear. and little bit difference in them. Grizzly bears have varied diet that includes grasses, roots, berries, nuts, rodents, insects, and fish. Habitat of woodland or grassland, a maximum mass of 270 kg. And polar bears have a diet that consists of other animals such as seals, habitat of land and sea ice, maximum mass of 450 grams. So polar bears have more weight as comparison to grizzly bear. So climate change has caused populations of grizzly bear to spread further north and populations of polar bear to spread further south. In some areas, there is habitat overlap and one rare occurrence, breeding between grizzly bears and polar bears have occurred. So the offsprings of grizzly bear and the polar bear are known as Paisley bears. So the common name for them, the bears can bred together in the wild. Show a Paisley bear. Paisley bear is the combination or the hybrid of this polar bear and grizzly bear. So this is Paisley bear. So the question is with reference to three different species. Concept discuss whether grizzly bears and polar bears should be classified as separate species. Three different species concept. Discuss whether grizzly bears and polar bears should be classified as separate species. So we can explain this with the help of three concepts. The first concept, when we say that the first concept is that biological species, they are considered biological species. We consider them same species, biological species or biologically same species, because they can interbreed with they can interbreed one another with each other to produce grizzly bear. So, and the other concept you can say that according to the definition of species, the organisms can interbreed with one another. So here they can interbreed with one another. They had a hybrid, which is grizzly bear. So it means they can be considered as one species. The other morphological species concept, that is the morphologically, they belong to the different uh, morphologically species. So these species which are different in shape, in size, in mass, in color. Size, mass, and color. So they are considered as different species. And the third, ecological species. So the third, they can be considered as the different species as they belong to the different habitats. They belong to the different habitats. Uh, they depend on different diet. So in this way, we can explain these species. Next question. And next question is human activity distributed has distributed the habitat of many populations of spectacled bear, Termatus orontus. The spectacled bear feeds on a variety of plants and animal species. Scientists compared the diversity of the food eaten by two populations of spectacled bear by analyzing their feces. One population lived and under undistributing habitat and the other population lived in habitat that has been distributed by road building. So in this way, you can see there is a formula which is the Simpson's index of diversity. D is equal to 1 minus sigma n by small n by capital N square. So n shows the number of individuals of each species, and capital N shows the total number of individuals of species. So we move towards the table 8.1, and in 8.1 shows the results and some of the steps for calculating the D value for the distributed tree. So here you can see, first of all, the first column in which the species eaten by the bear, the different species, and then number of individual fish eaten. So small n by capital N. So small, and the scale of small n by capital N. So here 12, and total number of species is 62. So we will divide the 12 with 62 and we will get the answer in this way. So students, you have to divide 12 divided by 62. So answer will be 0.19. So when you will take care of, so it will be 0.0361. And when we so when we take the total of this, so after calculating its total, it becomes 0.272. So it will be its value. We will make use of the calculator and we find out the answer. Now the next question is, by completing table in the species divided with the value, Simpson's index of diversity on the dotted line. And the formula, we will go back to this formula, which is T is equal to 1 minus sigma. D is equal to 1 minus sigma n over n square. So after calculating this, we will find the answer. We will put the values over here. So in this way, you will get the answer. 1 minus 0.272 is equal to, and then multiplied by 0.037, and you will get the answer. We are moving towards the next question, and next question is, in this formula, you will put the values from the previous table and you can calculate as I have only written. I have at this time. Okay, the scientists calculated a D value of 0.833 for the undistributed population. Explain what is shown by the difference in the D values between the two populations of the bear. So, values for the two populations of the bear. We will move to the diversity of the two values, the populations, which is different in these species. So higher diversity has more variations. So it was all about question number 7 and 8. Please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thanks for watching.